The reason why he said that it takes a genius to handle a jinn, you have to have a certain level of intelligence to be able to hold a jinn or to be able to handle the energy that these powerful entities bring. It's not that they're evil. Like he said energy isn't good or bad. He was like, you humans put good and bad on things and there's no such thing. He was like, in the spiritual realm, there is no good, there is no bad. It just is. Peace family, Conjure Queen here. So I want to share with you a message that was given to me by a jinn that approached me the other day. And I'm going to tell you exactly what he said to me, and I thought it was very insightful, okay? And before we go into this, I want to first explain to you that a jinn is not evil, that we've been conditioned to think that jinns, spirits, and these entities on the other side are evil, but the truth of the matter is everybody is born with a jinn. They're also known as genie. A woman is born with a Juno and a man is born with a genie. These are supposedly our spirit guides that are put here to guide us along our journey. Somewhere along the lines, religion came into place and they pretty much labeled all jinn or demons evil, but the truth of the matter is these were just different names, or those names were more so accepted in those days before they were demonized, or the term demon was evil according to the church. So now that that's out the way, a particular spirit came to me, a wise spirit, and he said, you know what I don't understand about humans? He says humans would rather look everywhere else but inside of themselves to find the answer. And so at first I was like, what do you mean? What makes you say that? He says, well, think about it. He was like, since the beginning of time, he was like, humans are always constantly searching. He says that humans are always constantly searching and that humans are always looking for answers outside of themselves. He says, think about it. Think about all of the philosophers and the scientists of your time, right? He was like, humans would rather build all of this crazy ass technology to go out into space and find out the meaning of life rather than to look within themselves and find the exact same answer. He was saying, think about it. He was like, even to this day, he was like, even you conspiracy theorists and you occultists, he was like, you guys are searching for these truths and searching for this rabbit hole that has no end. He says, exactly what is it that you're seeking? What are you looking for? What is the answer that you're trying to find? He says occultists and philosophers and these scientists of today really have no destination or goal, but that they're just consistently spiraling out of control, trying to find answers to things that make no sense. He said that the answers that humans are really seeking are inside of themselves. And if they were to stop distracting themselves with all of this other stuff that makes no sense, then they'll be able to really free themselves from this material realm. He says this is the reason why a lot of us don't really like to fuck with humans, because a lot of them are still stuck on stupid. Here's what he said. And then he even broke it down even more for me. He was like, listen, he was like, the reason why a lot of these so-called leaders or these church officials had made us evil, he says the truth of the matter is they couldn't handle our energy. He says only certain people can handle our energy. He says it takes a genius to handle a jinn. And at first I didn't get what he meant. He was like, listen, think about it. What is a genius, right? He says a genius is a person who is tapped into their jinn, into their spirit guide, to their higher self. A jinn, a Juno, a genie is pretty much your spirit guide or your higher self that's guiding you. And there's certain ways that you can build a relationship with your genie or your jinn or Juno. He says the truth of the matter is so many people are disconnected from their higher self. And so what they're really seeking is connection again. Because they're disconnected, there's a void or a disconnect there, and they need something to validate or to fill that void that they have. That's why a lot of humans tend to overconsume with sex or drugs, and they tend to blame demons for it. He says that a lot of human beings don't like to be accountable for their own actions. He said even in the church, he was like, look at a lot of those, priests. He was like, a lot of those priests was doing fucked up shit to those kids, but they wanted to blame it on the devil or to blame it on us, and we had nothing to do with that. He says humans are disgusting because they don't like to take responsibility for their own actions. The reason why he said that it takes a genius to handle a jinn, you have to have a certain level of intelligence to be able to hold a jinn or to be able to handle the energy that these powerful entities bring. It's not that they're evil. Like he said energy isn't good or bad. He was like, you humans put good and bad on things and there's no such thing. He was like, in the spiritual realm, there is no good, there is no bad. It just is. Right? Nature just is. Is a hurricane or a storm bad? No. In order for us to have flowers and trees and plant life, there has to be rainy days. Human beings can't always have sunny days. And he says sometimes they don't realize that. Like, yo, he was really kicking a lot of science to me. He was like, yo, he says the reason why only geniuses can handle our energy, because people who don't have a certain level of intelligence or a certain level of mental power and fortitude and willpower, that they can't handle the energy and they will go insane. This is why you see a lot of mad scientists or a lot of people losing their minds, is because they tried to tap into certain energies and they didn't have the ability to do so. They didn't have the mental stamina. They didn't have the fortitude. Their body is not built for it. He says not all humans are able to tap into the jinn, and for those who are not able to, they try to demonize them because they couldn't access the energy. So they wanted to hide it and keep it for themselves. He also explained to me, he was like, this is the reason why Solomon and all of them had to do these elaborate ceremonies in order to summon certain demons and jinn and bind them into a circle. He was like, yo, he was like, the original people, like the original energies and people that they worked with, like, remember, it was the jinn and the genies and the spiritual entities were the ones who were educated human beings on how to access magic, the occult, to learn about medicine, to learn about agriculture and food and healing and all of these things. Like, it was these powerful entities that taught us these high sciences. And so that's why we were able to build all of these incredible architectures and these amazing mounds and pyramids. Like, the jinn, these ancient beings were able to give us this information and ancient technology. The spiritual technology is still very accessible to us, but you got to realize, like he said, certain people that are considered leaders in your world are trying to harness this energy for themselves. The reason why Solomon and all of these religious leaders, even King James himself, like spirits, he says, like, yo, these were people who were trying to figure out how to tap into these ancient primordial energies, but because they couldn't, they had to build these circles and command and bind the spirit. And he was like, that's never how the energies were supposed to be used. So a lot of everything that we see and that's happening right now is the spirits sleeping, waking up. So when I asked him, I said, so if human beings are not supposed to look outside of themselves to find an answer, I said, what exactly are they supposed to be looking inside themselves for? And he says, all of the answers that you're looking for is inside of you. He was like, everything outside of you is only a reflection of what's happening on the inside. If there's no enemy within, then there's no enemy outside of you, right? And so he basically was telling me, he was like, listen, there's particular ways that you can actually build a relationship with your jinn or your judo or your genie, right? Remember, I said that we're all born with one. Some people have more than one, right? What you need to do is you got to create an altar. You're going to need a picture of yourself, right? Because it's your higher self. It's really you connecting a relationship with your true self. You're going to need a picture of yourself. You're going to need a candle of any color that you resonate with. It could be your favorite color. One of your favorite incense. You're going to need a beverage, okay, alcohol or whatever. And you're also going to need some form of a medal or an amulet or a charm, right? Like something like I'm wearing here. If you're interested in learning how to tap into your Juno, how to tap into your higher self, your spirit guides that come with you, and build a better relationship with them so that life can be easy, so that you can breeze through this occult journey, okay? Because I'm telling you that the relationship with your Jinn or Juno will take you to a whole nother level. It will unlock things that you never would have had access to before. I actually teach this in my spiritism and mediumship class. Now I'm going to drop the link below because this class will definitely take your gifts to the next level. It will teach you how to work with these spiritual entities and how to employ them, so that way you don't have to work so hard and life doesn't have to be so difficult. A lot of the most powerful people that you know, they have either a powerful bruja or brujo that's doing rituals for them to keep them successful and protect them, or they have a very strong relationship with their Juno or their Jinn jinn or genie that's allowing them to go to places that a normal human cannot go. The jinn and the genie and Juno have abilities that human beings do not have by themselves. They can open up doorways that you cannot even imagine, okay? And I'm going to live an example of how powerful these spiritual entities are. I give honor to them and they take care of me, right? And once again, there's nothing evil about it. This is a part of you. Your jinn or Juno is an extension of you, your higher self. Tap in and learn who you really are. Also, if you're looking for a tribe or a family, a community to study with, we do have an occult book club. You have to join the Patreon. We actually are going to upload some PDF books, some occult books that you guys can study and read, and we're also going to go over questions and stuff like that. Now for the VIP, we actually will have a live Q&A where we can actually discuss and talk about certain topics and things that happen in the book. We're actually going to be covering Cyclomancy, which is a powerful occult book that cost damn near $1,000 on Amazon because it's really hard to find the original printed copy, but I actually have the free PDF on my Patreon and the group. So if you want to be a part of the VIP Patreon group and you want to do these psychic exercises and learn how to tap into these occult powers, right? Telepathy, learn about cyclomancy. Like, there's so many different psychic powers that people have, and a lot of people are born with this, but they need to develop them. It's a muscle that needs to be exercised, and cyclomancy is a book that teaches you how to exercise your psychic abilities and gifts. And so me and the VIP Patreon members are going to be doing exercises with cyclomancy book because we're ready to take our gifts to the next level. Like, we're about action, not just talk. So make sure you guys sign up for the Patreon. But that's all I have today, family. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions, drop them down below. Make sure that you subscribe if you're new to my channel and hit that bell so you'll always be notified of new videos. And also make sure you share this with a friend. Until next time, Conjure Queen signing out. Peace.